All right. Can everybody hear me okay?
I can hear you.
All right. So we are live, guys. Tonight, we are doing our Halloween controversial podcast. For those of you who don't know, we always start our podcast with a quick disclosure. So we're going to go ahead and play that to make sure that everyone can hear it. If you have any problems hearing this on TikTok, I do apologize. I'm trying to get the volume to come in as clear as possible. We're going to go ahead and start it right now.
Ying Yang the podcast does not own rights to any background music or noise you may hear. This podcast is completely opinion-based and may include adult content, adult language, and verbiage not suitable for any underage viewers. Information found in this podcast may not contain exact accuracy as it is opinion-based. Please listen at your own risk.
All right, y'all. So, with that being said, Ying Yang the podcast is officially live. And tonight's topic is Halloween.
Yay!
So, with that being said, there have been multiple people on multiple different platforms that have kind of talked up and said whether or not they celebrate Halloween. And it seems to be a general consensus across the board, from what I can tell. So, and for those of you that don't know, I am live on TikTok up here. So if you see me looking up, it's because I'm looking at things that people may be posting on the TikTok. And then I'm live on the studio right here on my laptop in front of it. So Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Riverside. You can find us anywhere right now.
Right.
All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our topic immediately. Halloween. So Sheena.
Yes.
Oh, and really quick, y'all, look at the cup that Yang sent me, my little Ying official cup. I'm gonna turn off invite. People keep inviting me into their live, and I've gone ahead and turned off invites so that it doesn't keep happening on TikTok, y'all. We don't want to go into other people's live because it'd be kind of awkward to do my podcast through their live. So me and Sheena just be talking through somebody else's live.
Right. I'm still trying to figure out how to get on the TikTok, but it's okay. I'll be working on it in the background.
No problem at all. No problem at all. So Sheena, do you celebrate Halloween?
I used to, when my son was younger, I used to take him trick-or-treating, but now that he's 15, I don't bother with it no more. Like, not in the sense of going out trick-or-treating, door to door, we're going to dress up in costumes. I mean, I love horror movies, but I watch horror movies all year round, so, sometimes if I'm really bored, I might be like, oh, it's October, it's Halloween month, and let's, have a scary movie night type of thing. And, with a love of Halloween, but I don't I'm not like a diehard Halloween fan. Like it is what it is kind of holiday. How about you?
So I have been a Halloween fanatic most of my life. Like, I love Halloween. Y'all see my little skull in the background over here? All lit up. I actually, I've done, my birthday falls November 12th. So I've done a lot of my parties based on Halloween being right there. Like, I've done a lot of costume parties and things like that for my birthday because everybody has their costumes left over from their Halloween parties and things like that. And I'll be completely transparent with everyone. I mean, I have loved Halloween for as long as I can remember. And then I started to do the research on it.
Oh, do tell.
Oh, man. So I dived into this rabbit hole of back and forth for Halloween in general. I actually even went back and forth trying to decide whether or not I was going to dress up for this podcast as an inflatable dinosaur. I didn't think that my hair would look good with it, but so I have always been a huge Halloween fanatic. And then my younger sister is actually the exact opposite. My younger sister does not celebrate Halloween. Her family does not celebrate Halloween. Her children do not celebrate Halloween. They don't participate in trunk or treat. They do not dress up for the purpose of Halloween. Things like that.
Okay.
And so I actually, to try to help understand the reality of the religious side of things and to try to help understand the reality of how people like her think. And now, mind you, that's my little sister. We love each other,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that my little sister is actually one of my closest people in my life. Like she's the one of the very few people that I feel like completely safe with. So I flat called her up and I was like, hey, I don't want to sound ignorant. Can you please explain this to me better? And she flat told me, that she does not celebrate Halloween. And these are the reasons, her biggest reason was that the Bible explains that, thou shalt not worship any other God. And Halloween is a pagan holiday.
Really?
It came from pagan origins. And that's one of the things that I shared across our Facebook over, this week so that people could understand that it is a pagan holiday. So it's not necessarily, how do I say this nicely? It's not necessarily the best thing to open up your children to.
No, I mean, I get that.
So, and that's where my back and forth is gone so there are psychologists that say that Halloween is a great thing for your children to experience because of the socialization of the children and participating in things that help them to use their imagination and be creative and hang out with other friends. However, other psychologists have also gone back and said, okay, but how do you explain to a crying 7-year-old why it's normal once a year for the devil to walk down the road?
The devil to walk down the road?
Because it's a Halloween costume.
Oh.
And so, like, when I was talking to my sister, she was telling me that it's not as much that for her as it is that she never wants her children to think that, number one, it's okay to go up and take candy from strangers. Just because one day a year it's allowed doesn't mean that you should just accept candy from strangers on a normal basis, but that's what you're teaching them with trick-or-treating. And then also she was explaining to me, and I never thought about it from this perspective because we've never really talked about Halloween because she knows that I absolutely love that holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that she didn't celebrate it. So we just never really talked about it until we had the conversation. And she was explaining to me, like, as a person, okay, Sheena, you work in retail.
Yeah.
Let's pretend the date is March 15th.
Okay.
Okay. What would you do if a person walked in dressed in all black with a black ninja suit on from head to toe and you couldn't see their face and you were working retail and it was the middle of March?
I would think they're crazy. I would think they were trying to rob me.
Right. So why would you think they were trying to rob you? What if they were just celebrating Halloween on a different day?
Not in March.
So why is it okay? Right. So why is it okay that one day a year to dress up like that and not any other day of the year?
Because it's a pass. So yeah, I mean, people get a pass because it's a Halloween. So I guess they give everybody a pass on the costumes.
Right. And that's kind of where I think my sister was coming from, and she was explaining why her and her family won't celebrate Halloween. There are multiple reasons. She doesn't want to teach her children that it's okay to dress up and go into places and think that this is a normal way that society acts, but she also doesn't want her children to think that it's okay to take candy from strangers.
No, that's not okay.
And that's exactly what we're telling them is okay every Halloween. I personally don't have children. I can tell you that I have dressed up every single year for Halloween since I was a child. And now, as a young child, my younger sister did celebrate Halloween with us because she didn't have her own religious beliefs to stand on or to believe in. So she had no idea what she was doing. So when she made the decision, when she did become more religious and she started to get her own grounding to stand on, she made the choice not to celebrate Halloween anymore. Whereas I went the exact opposite direction and I've celebrated every single year.
Mhm.
In fact, my 33rd birthday was a costume party.
That's
Because
cool.
that's the last costume party I had. Yeah. And I absolutely loved that costume party. It was the last costume party that I had, and also the last birthday party I had that my stepson attended. So he even dressed up. And if y'all know 17-year-olds, it is hard to get them to dress up as anything for anything. But he did it for me, so it was important. So it's one of those things where, but the flip side is, who is it to tell us? Like, I think that if I had children when they were young, like under 6,
Mhm.
I probably would not take them to participate, only because there is the fear factor and the nightmare factor.
Right.
And, be scared. But I think that if I sat them down and I asked them if they wanted to do it, that it should still be something they could participate in, because I don't know if they're going to understand what it's about and all of their friends do it. That's the hard part for me, is I don't ever want my child to feel excluded from something, but I also want them to understand what it could mean or what it could bring. People say that it brings the devil into your life and it opens up all these doors. And there are still countries, if you Google it, you can Google it right now. Anybody who's on the live, please feel free to Google this and drop a link in the box if you want to. But if you look into it, you will see that there are still countries that do, like, they'll sacrifice a child on Halloween.
Really?
Yeah. And that's scary. I mean, there's countries that sacrifice children on Easter also. So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's really hard to tell what holidays we are and are not supposed to participate in. Now, I will tell you, I am a believer. I don't talk much about religion with people because I don't really feel it's anyone's place what I believe in.
Right,
That's
we all
between
have our
me
own
and
beliefs. I mean, I get that.
right.
I'm the same way. We all have our own beliefs, and we're not supposed to judge people based on what they believe, just because they believe something that you don't.
Right. When I don't personally, it's not my place to judge. That's all up to God. So, but with doing that, I've celebrated Halloween every year, and I've never thought about it the way that it was explained to me as a paganistic holiday, because my relationship with God has always been so open and so transparent that I feel like I've always made it very known that He is who I worship. So it's really hard for me to grasp the concept when people are like, "Oh, that's the devil's holiday."
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
where did that come from?
tell
Okay,
me if you
so
make
question, like, take like 2 seconds and for people who don't know what a pagan holiday is or pagan means, what in your words, what is pagan? Like, if I didn't know what a pagan holiday was, how would you explain that to me?
So are you asking what pagan means?
Yeah.
So when it's a religion, it's hard for me to explain. More or less, it's a non-Christian religion.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's not that they necessarily, it's not that they necessarily worship the devil. However, a lot of people will say paganism is just devil worshiping, but it's not necessarily. They just have really different beliefs. And I don't want to say strange, because to pagans, of course, it's a normal belief system. So I don't want to offend anyone and say it's weird or anything like that, but it is a very drastic belief. So like pagans believe that nature is sacred and that natural cycles of birth, growth, and death in the world around us have like their own spiritual meanings. So like for pagans, humans are part of nature along with other animals, trees, stones, plants, like everything on the earth that is an organism of some kind has some kind of spiritual meaning. So for like pagans, there's not necessarily a belief in God, but more belief in Mother Nature, I guess is the best way to explain it to where people might understand what it means.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does.
Okay. We're going to try this again. If I can get my phone to work. Sorry, y'all.
Did you get my invite? Oh, there you go.
We're going to try this TikTok thing again. So if it does a weird echo, I apologize ahead of time, y'all.
Hopefully it doesn't.
Sheena, I did go ahead and send you the invite.
Yeah.
So that's what paganism is. So with that being said, you know, I'm not pagan. Or I don't believe in paganism, maybe is the proper way that I'm supposed to say it. I don't really know what the proper way for me to say it is. I do identify as a Christian. You know, but that's never stopped me from participating in Halloween or participating in dressing up. Now let me say this, though, as far as kids dressing up, there's nothing wrong with that. Kids are allowed to have an imagination, but allowing them to only dress up on October 31st is where it kind of shows that they celebrate the holiday.
Right.
You know, versus allowing them to dress up all the time. You know, I could show up at my sister's house on a random Tuesday, and if she allowed her sons to do it, they would be dressed up in T-Rex outfits running around playing dinosaurs. So it's not that it takes away the imagination. Kids can dress up in costumes as much as they want. The biggest thing is that doing it with the sense of we are celebrating this holiday is where the controversy kind of comes in. I'm going to do a quick check around on all of our chat systems to see if we have any comments.
Oh, see if anybody want to join in the conversation.
Yeah, let's see if anyone's saying anything right now. Sheena, has TikTok let you in yet?
No, it hasn't.
All right.
Which is very weird.
All right. And also, everybody, you know, between Twitch, YouTube, it looks like we do have a couple of people coming in on YouTube. The people coming in on Twitch are just offering us offers. If anyone's interested, they can go check out our Twitch. They're just offering some offers on our Twitch over there. All right. So we're all caught up on chats.
Awesome.
What is your opinion on, I don't want to say radical, but very extreme Christians stating that if you do celebrate Halloween, it's the devil's holiday? What's your opinion about that? Or do you not know enough about Halloween to kind of have an opinion on that part?
I mean, I have an opinion, but I mean, I don't know a lot about Halloween, like, going back to where it originated from. Like, if you ask me a test question about, like, oh, where did, Halloween originated from, I probably fail. But my opinion about that is it's not that deep. To me, I don't think it's that deep. But then again, like I said, I haven't, like, dug deep into the origination of Halloween, and its connection to the biblical side of it. Like I don't,
Okay,
yeah,
so the
like you say, I don't
not
know
in the Bible.
enough about, like, how is Halloween connected to, Christianity to even,
It's not.
yeah, to me, it's like, it's not that deep. It's just a made up holiday to where kids can get free candy. So, yeah, it's not that deep.
All right. So let me start by saying Halloween is not in the Bible. It's not a Christian holiday at all. Halloween originated, like, it had roots in ancient Celtic festivals. And I do not want to mess this word up, but I'm probably going to, because that's just who I am as a person, everyone. With that being said, it's Samhain. So the Gaelic word pronunciation Samhain was the name of the Celtic festival at the end of the summer to welcome the harvest. Because remember, with paganism, it's all about the nature. So Halloween was the welcoming of the harvest for the summer, like at the end of the summer for the fall. And that's where Halloween stemmed from. So, now Halloween is, like, dominated by candy and costumes and trick-or-treating.
Right.
But originally, it was a festival. And during this festival, there would be, like, bonfires, and people would wear costumes, but they would wear costumes to ward off ghosts to protect the harvest. So it's not like people have always made it out to be a very demonic thing, but think about it. If you lived in a time where you were focusing on this harvest and everyone was like, hey, if we have a bonfire and we all dress up like this, then we can protect our harvest from the ghosts.
Right.
So that's what they felt they were doing. And then over time, a lot of time, it got brought into different areas. Like, I can tell you the Samhain. I think I'm saying that. If I'm saying it wrong and someone knows how to say it right, please tell me, because I think I'm saying it right. But the Samhain festival, that was then appropriated by early Catholic Church about 1200 years ago. So when the Catholic Church started celebrating the Samhain festival, that's where Halloween kind of was created from there. Halloween was kind of brought in that way. And so it was costumes, and you would dress up, and it was supposed to be protect this harvest from ghosts and spirits from being able to ruin the harvest.
Oh, so how did it get connected to the devil?
Because think about it. Let's say there's 500 people in your town, and we light a big bonfire in the middle of town. And I tell everybody, hey, dress up as something to scare ghosts away. You're going to dress up as something scary, right?
Yeah.
Get rid of the ghosts. And now think about all these scary people dancing around the fire. That looks pretty demonic. So it's one of those things where, paganism is already associated with not believing in God. And because they believe in nature, their spirituality is more with nature than with God. And God states that you should not follow any other God. And so if you follow anything but him, like nature, then he is a jealous God. So over time, it has just become a more commercialized holiday. But what holiday hasn't? Christmas wasn't always about a tree and 3,000 presents. You know, Christmas is not supposed to be about that. Thanksgiving is not supposed to be about that. But America as a whole, we know commercializes everything. Anything they can make $1 off of, they're going to. And Halloween is another way to do that.
Yes. Yes. That's the way America is right now. Any way to get $1, that's how they're gonna go.
So, and that's one of the biggest things that I can think of that has commercialized Halloween. Now, with that being said, have you ever had an experience where someone directly said anything to you about you taking your son out to enjoy the holiday? Because you have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if anything's ever been said to you or if anyone's ever disagreed with that choice that you made to allow him to participate or...
No, like, no one has said anything out the way to me. No. I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably because I probably wouldn't even tolerate nothing like that because, to me, it's like, it's not that deep. Like, it's not like we're out here practicing rituals and we're cutting up goats and summoning, people from the dead and putting brick dust on everything. So, no, we're out here, having a gathering, socializing in the spirit of joy for the kids. So all of the other, demonic and devil worshiping is not right with God can, like, I hate to say it like this, but that can, like, take a back seat because we're not here for that. We're here to celebrate and bring the children together. This is just an opportunity for the children to come together, to socialize, to have fun, and eat hot dogs and hamburgers and candy until their stomach hurts. And, we send them home to with their parents and be like, here, your kid's doped up on candy and sugar and he's yours for the rest of the night to throw up everywhere. So, like, to me, it's
That
like
sounded
you're gonna bring in all that other extra stuff. You're sucking all the fun out of it. Like, to me, I look at Halloween as a kids' holiday for kids to go out and have fun. It's just another opportunity for kids to go out, to be kids with other kids, to have fun.
No, and I think that makes perfect sense. I mean, this is how I feel about it, and somebody's probably getting mad that I say this, but I don't care. Listen, kids are kids one time, and Halloween was one of my favorite times growing up because it was in a world where you're growing up, especially when you hit like preteen times.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea who you are. You have no idea who you want to be. You have no idea who your real friends are. So for that one day, I was allowed to be whoever I wanted to be.
Right.
And nobody could stop me and nobody would look at me weird because it was a holiday and everyone was doing it. And it was super fun and exciting, and I have had people multiple times throughout my life say, hey, that's the devil's holiday. You shouldn't be doing that. You're not a true Christian, things like that. But my response to that is my relationship with God has nothing to do with my imagination or creativity. God knows my intentions because God does see all. If you're really a Christian and you feel like God does see all, then he knows your intentions. He knows your heart. So he knows that when you're doing those things, you're doing them to participate for creativity, for socialization, for fun, not to make everyone think, oh, you're the devil. And I've never dressed up as like a devil. I think I've dressed up as a witch a couple of times, maybe even a ghost. But I've done all kind of weird, creative, fun things because that's what you do for Halloween.
Yeah.
It is still and always will be one of my favorite holidays. And I will tell you, I learned a lot about why people call it satanic and demonic. And a lot of that stuff hit home in a way I can't really describe to people. It's made me question a lot of my personal choices because of that. And not on like a level like, oh, I think that I'm going to go to HE double hockey stick. More like on a level where, okay, now I can understand why this person asked me this, or why they felt it was satanic or demonic. Whereas in the past, I may not have been able to see that.
Right.
So, with that being said, I don't think that there should be a situation where Halloween is taken out of children's lives or out of schools or anything like that. But the flip side to that is the argument that I keep hearing from a lot of people is, why was it okay to take prayer out of schools and leave Halloween?
That's an interesting question.
That is an interesting question, because if you think about it, the government is taking away the positivity of religion. Now, and I do understand that not everyone prays the same due to different religions. But I think that whatever it is you practice, you should be able to practice wholeheartedly, even in school. And I think that with that being said, whether that's Halloween or Christmas, like, why is it okay that the kids are off for Christmas break? What about people that celebrate Hanukkah?
Right.
You know, shouldn't they be off for that time? You know, if we're going to celebrate one holiday, oh, look, y'all, Sheena's on the TikTok now. Hi, Sheena.
Hi.
So, with that being said, you know, if we're going to celebrate one holiday in one place or for one religion, we should celebrate all holidays for all religions across the board. You know, if we're celebrating paganism in school, for Halloween, how come we're not celebrating Hanukkah in school? How come we're teaching everyone about Christmas and things like that, but we're not teaching them about Hanukkah? You know, it doesn't seem like there's a fair level there. It's more or less like whatever the government says the children should learn, they learn. So they're not actually teaching them anything about what Halloween's origins are. You know, I remember, and I don't know if you remember this, Sheena, do you remember, because we're around the same age, when they were talking about Halloween in school, didn't they talk to us about the Headless Horseman?
Yeah, that was like Silent Night.
So we talk about a Headless Horseman, we carved pumpkins, we did all those kinds of things, but nobody ever told me it was a paganism holiday. I don't remember ever talking about that, and maybe that's because you don't discuss religion in school.
Right.
But if you don't discuss religion in school, why do you discuss Christmas?
Right, because Christmas is associated.
Why do you get after Easter off?
It's a catch-22. It's like you have your cake and eat it too, because they associated Halloween with the devil. So they're saying that you're not going to invite the devil in.
So then, being that you can celebrate Halloween at school because you can wear your costume, you can celebrate a devil's holiday according to, you know, religious people at school. And you can celebrate Christmas. Why are we not celebrating every holiday? You know, I would like to see the children get St. Patrick's Day off, because that's an Irish holiday and that's where my culture comes from. So I would like to see that day be given off moving forward too. If we're going to celebrate paganism, I want to celebrate my Irish heritage.
It should be an opportunity for everybody to celebrate the holidays that they want to celebrate.
Agreed. And that's one of my big thing is I feel like if they would incorporate a school system where families are allowed to celebrate with their families, based on, you just submit something that says what holidays you as a family celebrate, and you take those days to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I feel like they're making it too complicated, but they're not making it fair either. And again, for people just coming on, I do celebrate Halloween. I don't at all feel like Halloween should be not celebrated. The flip side is I also think it should be fair across the board. I have a member of my family, my younger sister, and she doesn't celebrate Halloween. And I completely respect that about her. I call and ask her questions about it, throughout the last week just to make sure I didn't sound ignorant on this call for the podcast. And I wanted to really make sure that I didn't come off as ignorant and not know what it was. So I have done extensive research on Halloween and its origins and what different people feel. And it's sad. It's just another thing that people fight about. I don't think there's anything wrong with teaching a child to carve a pumpkin. You don't even have to carve a mean face into it.
Right.
But carving a pumpkin is a fun activity for them to do.
Mm-hmm.
I remember carving pumpkins when I was little,
Mm-hmm.
and then my mom made all the pumpkin seeds for us to eat.
Yes, because we used to go to the pumpkin patch and pick out our pumpkins and then, carve them. It was so fun. It was a fun experience for the kids. I mean, as a child, I had enjoyed myself picking out my own pumpkin and being able to carve it and then take it home.
So these are kind of some of the things that I posted on the page over the last week. I had found a picture online that kind of bothered me. So I posted it because we all know I love controversy. And, I like a little bit of drama. A little bit of drama in our conversation.
Right.
So with that being said, I am excuse me, guys. With that being said, I posted it on our page this week because I wanted people to read it, because this is what it says. And I want to know what you agree and disagree with, Sheena, so I'm going to read them one at a time. What Halloween teaches kids? It's okay to do evil things.
I don't see that.
I don't either. Witchcraft can be fun.
I don't see that either. I mean, you bring it if it,
How does dressing up like Buzz Lightyear make being a witch fun?
You're just bringing that into the holiday.
Right.
That's people who, if that's your belief, but it's not based on that. That's you're bringing that in, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Popular culture is superior to God's laws.
You see my face?
So for those of you on TikTok, because you can't see Sheena's face, but you can probably hear her voice, Sheena was kind of like, that don't make no sense. So if other Christians do it, it must be okay.
What, Halloween must be okay if other Christmas? Oh my God, it doesn't make any sense.
See, and this goes back to what I think we've discussed before about how the world has become too, I'm trying to think of a nice way to say this because I don't want to get my YouTube on a ban.
You know what? Yeah, that's me. I even though we're
yeah, she didn't be messing us up, man. She didn't be messing up with our YouTube, man. I'm
being good. I'm being good tonight. I'm gonna be good tonight.
So a lot of things are not of the world, And I know that. And so there are going to be a lot of Christians that say, yes, if one Christian does it, other Christians are going to think it's okay. And it leaves us. But listen, man, when did we all get so offended?
That part.
Like, I grew up in a generation where we were drinking out of water hoses and we couldn't come in and out the house because we was messing up the AC. And, I don't ever remember being half as offended as people are today. It doesn't make any sense to me. Let the kids wear the Buzz Lightyear costume.
Right.
Let the little girl be a princess. Let her have
Let
some
them
fun.
fantasize about being something other than their everyday routine.
I mean, do you know how many kids dress up as what they want to be when they grow up?
Yeah.
I don't.
One day a year they have to be creative. Why cut their
Right.
creativity because you're trying to associate this holiday, or you're trying to, like I said, associate it with it being part of a devil worshiping thing, when you should just leave that alone. I like to look at it as a kids' holiday to celebrate kids coming together, being kids, celebrating their creativity because they get to choose what costume they are. And when I was younger, like, we didn't have, like, listen, I'm not ashamed to say, like, growing up, we didn't have all the money in the world. So our parents was like, whatever you can find in the attic upstairs, go up there and find it and make yourself a costume. We might be able to get you a mask or something, but all that bottom stuff, we had to create ourselves. And then I grew up mostly in New Jersey. It's cold. Like, by the time Halloween comes around, it's cold, and I don't like the cold. So, hey, I had me a mask and a coat. I didn't even take my coat off. So why am I have regular clothes. I might dress up in all black. I'm gonna be a ninja or something, because then I had my coat on. We were like, let me see your costume. No, it's cold. Like, so all I cared about was, my face, my mask, what my mask looked like, because I wasn't coming out my coat. But it's just a holiday for kids to celebrate being kids.
Right. See, and that's, we didn't grow up with like a lot of money or anything either. But I will say, my mom knew it was one of the most important, like, holidays to me. Like, to me, Halloween was more important than, like, Christmas, because it was a day that everybody. So, she would go out of her way, if we really wanted to be something, she would make it happen. She would get together that $40 to go get me that costume that she knew she really didn't have, but she was going to do it for us.
Right.
But there was a lot of times that I was kind of the person where I knew that, both my parents worked and that we didn't have a bunch of extra money, and we also wanted to give out candy and stuff like that. So, I was Pippi Longstocking a lot. But I also, and it kind of goes with my lifestyle now, but I thought that when I grew up, that's who I was going to be. I was going to be Pippi, because she was just so free and she had all the animals she wanted in a big old house. So I was going to be Pippi someday anyways. So now that I'm there in life, I got a house. I haven't gotten a horse or a monkey yet. I'm working on it, guys.
You want a monkey?
If you know anybody. Man, I want finger monkeys.
Oh, I want the mini one.
I want a pair of finger monkeys. I can't get them now because my lovely dog will eat them. She's sitting right next to me. Y'all can't see her, but she's here. But my lovely dog does not like anything that moves, bugs, nothing. So I can't have them yet. But I want monkeys and horses and all that someday. I doubt my landlord would let me have any of those things. By the way, I promise, landlord, I'm not buying monkeys and horses yet.
We're not going to do monkeys.
So, but with that being said, Sheena, what would you do? All right, so we're gonna devil advocate it really quick. Yeah, this is my favorite time of the evening. 15 minutes till. Let's pull out the questions. So, what would you do, Sheena, if Cam had a child and during that time, we're gonna call her Lucy. So let's say Lucy gets pregnant, she has a baby, and then your son says, hey, we want to take the baby trick or treating. Me and my mom are going to do it. And you have all this stuff planned. You've already bought a costume. And Lucy comes back and she says, yeah, no, that's the devil's holiday. Would you still take that child trick or treating behind the mother's back? Or would you respect her wishes?
So okay, if I'm following correct, the child is my grandchild, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope that your son's not just claiming random kids.
Yeah, let's hope. Honestly, I would respect the mother wishes. I would be saddened that
I see that. I can see that in your face. You look very perturbed.
I would be very sad that I can't, after I done, invested time and energy into a costume, I'll probably have the child wear it not on Halloween. So we can't claim it that we were celebrating Halloween. We might do it on Thanksgiving. Because, me, I like pictures. Like, I want to, I would want to have the costumes and stuff so I can have pictures, so I can have memories and stuff like that. But, I mean, honestly, I would. Because, like, I'm just, I'm the grandparent, so I'm not going to overstep my boundaries. I wouldn't want someone to do that to me, so I wouldn't disrespect of their wishes if that was a decision that both of them, my son and the young lady, both decided to do, and they came to me with, this is their wishes, please don't celebrate Halloween with my child, then I would respect it. I can't say that I would like it, but I would respect it.
That's very nice of you.
Yeah, I'm a nice person. Okay.
So then I think I'm a not nice person. So I would never disrespect my sister's wishes. Like, I would never take her kids to do those things because that's my sister. But I feel like as a grandparent, I could get away with it. Like, I wouldn't want to make it so my sister never talks to me again, and that might be kind of pushing the button with her. So I would never do that to her because that's my sister. But I kind of feel like if
well, what if the mom was like, okay, since you disobeyed my wishes, you can't see the grandchildren, you can't see the grandchild, so now you like a grandparent.
Hold on, didn't we talk about this on another podcast where we was talking about grandparents' rights and grandparents being held to stuff? Man, that's grandparents' rights. You're not finna take my grandchild away from me.
But there's some people out there will, like, if you
I can get my hands on it.
Yes, some mothers, like, especially mothers to the grandparents, what's it called, the paternal grandparents of the father. If you don't follow their wishes, they're gonna cut you off.
Listen, should the day ever come, and I mean this with the utmost respect and the utmost love, should the day ever come that I get my hands on my grandson, and he say, whatever he gonna call me, Amanda, whatever, and he say, I want to go trick or treating, we going trick or treating.
Are you gonna tell the mom you went? Are you gonna make the kid keep a secret?
I'm gonna say, listen, he won't go, we going.
And you better not keep him from me, huh?
Well, and it's not even for me, it wouldn't be I'm doing this to be spiteful. It would be I'm doing this because the child wants to, and that's what grandparents do. Give the babies what they want. And that's all that I'm saying, I wouldn't do it to be spiteful. I wouldn't do it to be rude. I wouldn't even do it because it's Halloween. I don't care if my grandson said to me on a random Tuesday in the middle of December, I want to dress up and go trick-or-treating. Guess what we're doing on a random Tuesday in December? We're dressing up and going trick-or-treating. He might not get a whole lot of candy. He might get some bananas. And in this area, he'll probably get some mints and some of those little red strawberry candy things that all the church ladies have in their purses. But we gonna go. Because kids can only use their imagination for so long in life before the world tells them that their imagination is wrong. Even as adults, through our creativity, me and you get on here and we do this podcast for us.
Mhm.
We get on here every week, Saturday, live at 11, doing all this with our creativity and our imagination and those things. And then for those of you that don't know, people that are just joining, me and Yang are both, published writers. You don't become a published writer by not using your imagination. You cannot be a writer and only write the truth. Like, it doesn't work. You have to expand your mind. And the only way to expand your mind is imagination and creativity. That is all that Halloween is for a lot of these children. A lot of them don't understand the paganism or religious background
As a
behind it.
child,
They don't
yeah.
see that. They see that their friend is Andy and their other friend is Buzz Lightyear, so they want to dress up like the dinosaur from Toy Story because they want to match their friends.
That part. And then, like, what parents is out there that's actually teaching their children about paganism, and this is why, we don't celebrate Halloween. Kids gonna see it how society see it, or what society teaches the kids. It's a holiday to dress up and go get candy. That's what society teaches these kids. So you can't blame them for not knowing about paganism or wanting to celebrate Halloween based on, like, it's the devil. How does the child know it's the devil's holiday when they're not taught that? Society teaches them it's a child's holiday where children can come together and eat candy while dressing up as their favorite character.
See, exactly. And that's, with that being said, one of the biggest things that I'm finding, especially in the last, couple of conversations I've had with people about Halloween, is if you're not going to celebrate, I can completely respect that. And I would never push nothing. Like, my sister doesn't half celebrate. They don't celebrate at all. They don't give out candy. They don't participate in trunk or treats. They don't do any of those things. There's some people who be like, oh, we don't celebrate Halloween, and then they still take their kid to the trunk or treat that's on the weekend before Halloween. Well, no, you definitely participate then. So be real with yourself and your children. But if you're not going to participate, I believe that the children should understand why. If you're sitting the kids down and you're explaining to them this is a paganism holiday, this isn't what we believe in, and this is why we don't believe in it, then I have the utmost respect for you, and I would never cross that line for you. I absolutely adore the idea of people allowing their children to use creativity outside of Halloween. If your kid wants to dress up every September 5th, man, call me. I will dress up with them. I'll wear a costume randomly. You can tell me tomorrow that everybody is dressing up like a costume character, and I bet you I'll be Alice in Wonderland right at work. Because I love to dress up. I love to look different. It's just kind of part of who I am. So do I need to take children out trick-or-treating to do it? No, I don't. I can be creative on any day of the year. But kids don't understand that, because we put kids in school when they're 4 years old. And we tell them, this is your schedule, and you have homework, and you have to do this, and you're required to do that. And we take away the moments of them having a creativity or an imagination. We take all of that away from them.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just like, go out into the world. Oh, but this one day a year, you could be anybody you want. Oh, you want to be an astronaut? Yeah, you can be an astronaut on October 31st. One day a year, you can be unscheduled, dress up as you want, and go. And maybe this is the reason that, God decided that I shouldn't have children. And I think at this point, I'm okay with that. Because I'm sorry, but if my kid wanted to come to school as a different princess every day, they would come to school as a different princess every day. Because I'm going to help build that imagination and creativity. That's what makes geniuses.
That's true.
they want to dress up at home, like I said earlier, my sister's kids will run around her house dressed up all the time. And she doesn't celebrate Halloween. That's not what dressing up is about. Dressing up is about creativity and imagination and things like that. So if that's what it's about for you for Halloween, and that's why you as a Christian celebrate it, is for your children to have the creativity and the imagination, I am all for you, and I will stand behind you.
Right, because you don't want to kill that kid's spirit. Denying them something like that, especially if they're super excited about doing it, you're going to kill their spirit. And what harm is it for them to dress up as their favorite character and run around with their friends and get candy?
Right. Well, and to me, that's kind of the biggest thing that it comes down to, taking away small holidays, what we as adults consider commercial or frivolous holidays like Halloween. They don't mean anything to us as adults, and I can't really say that because I love Halloween and it means a lot to me. But if we take those things away, if we take away Halloween, if we take away the elf on a shelf, if we take away the little things that still create imagination and creativity, what else do kids have? Because all I see now is school and screen time. And that's not how all of us grew up. I'm in my 30s. Sheena's in her 30s. Our generation didn't grow up on screens. We grew up outside. And kids today don't have that because it's so unsafe to be out there. So if we take Halloween away from the kids, if we tell them, hey, you can't dress up in school no more, we're not doing trunk or treats no more. If this is something they're used to, how do they bounce back from that? And the people out there saying, oh, it's still a satanic holiday. Listen, I would like to agree, except for paganism is not necessarily a satanic religion. So if you can bring me more than it's a pagan holiday to explain the demonic or satanic behind it, then bring it. Because I want to know. I want to understand. Paganism is more a belief in the earth than anything. So, but it's not Scientology. So I personally say let the kids have their Halloween. Right. And if you don't believe it, at least explain to them why you don't celebrate that. And explain to them it's not that we don't celebrate costumes. It's not that we're never allowed to dress up or use our imagination. It's that we don't do it on this day because it's been commercialized from a satanic tradition. I'm okay with that. Listen, I'm all in. If everybody wants to dress up on November 1st, I'm in. I have an inflatable dinosaur and an Alice in Wonderland costume. So just let me know which one I should wear November 1st, and I got y'all. Because, I don't think it's satanic. If anything, it's welcoming the harvest. So if it's anything, it's protecting nature, which God would want us to do.
Right. I don't think it's satanic to either. I just think that someone tied that together. Someone else ran with it. And then you have those believers who, that they want to believe, almost like, the cults, like, controls people's minds. So you believe what you want to believe, but I don't think it should be associated.
I completely agree. So again, if anyone has any comments that they, want to reach out and say to us, we are live. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick, because we're kind of right at an hour now. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick check to see if we've had anything come across any of the boards. Let's see. Nothing on YouTube.
Nothing on Riverside.
Okay. And Twitch is still trying to send us offers. Sorry, there's somebody on there trying to sell us marketing on our Twitch chat for anybody in there. Anyone watching our Twitch live right now, I can see there's a few people in there. Just you just tell them to go away. We're not going to respond to them. Anybody on TikTok have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I can actually see the chat on TikTok. So I was like monitoring the chat on TikTok. I just, for some reason, don't have the option to join you as a guest. I'm not sure why, but hopefully we'll figure that out by next week.
No problem. And then I will check the Facebook Live now just to make sure we are caught up on all comments. We are caught up on all comments. All right. So with that being said, if you have anything you want to add to the podcast from tonight, please reach out to us directly. We will make sure that it gets tagged to this podcast completely. And then if anyone has any other questions regarding anything else we're doing, please let me know. Our business spotlight this week was someone called Evil Twin Clay Company. They are a company that I found out here in North Georgia mountains. She does some very phenomenal work. Please go take a look at her stuff.
Yes, she does. They are really, really cute.
They are. She's so good. Mm-hmm. There's something for everything, for everybody, especially people like me with the hippie in me. I absolutely loved her stuff. So yeah, please go check her out. She is linked on our page, so you can go see all of her stuff. She's the business spotlight. And next week, of course, we will be back here. It'll be the first of the month, so we all know what that means. Woo woo, current events.
Yes.
So next Saturday, live at 11, will be current events. We're going to go ahead and end tonight's podcast. We wish you all a great week and a happy Halloween.
Yes. Be safe out there. Two people.
Two
Two opinions.
Real talk.